Rain slides down the taxi windows in slow lines, bending the city lights into soft streaks of red and green. Singapore feels smaller at night, quieter, like it is holding its breath. I sit in the back seat, my bag at my feet, my phone darken. My hand. The air smells faintly of old fabric and cleaning spray. The driver does not speak when I give him the address. He only nods and pulls away from the curb. He is older, maybe late 60s. Thin arms, grey hair cropped short. His eyes keep drifting to the rearview mirror, not to check traffic, but to check me, or maybe something behind me. I cannot tell. The radio is off. Only the sound of rain and tires on wet road fills the car. We pass blocks of sleeping flats, their windows mostly dark. A few TVs glow blue behind curtains. Neon signs buzz softly above closed shops. Everything looks familiar and distant at the same time. I have been gone for years, but the city remembers me better than I remember it. The taxi clock reads 11:58 p.m. I watch the seconds tick forward. The numbers feel louder than they should. The driver slows as we approach an empty intersection. No cars, no people. The traffic light switches from green to red, though there is no reason to stop. He brakes anyway. At exactly midnight, the meter makes a sharp clicking sound. I look down, the fare drops to 0. Not pauses, not resets slowly. It snaps back like it was never there. The driver's hands tighten around the steering wheel. His knuckles turn pale. "Don't talk," he whispers. His voice is rough, like he does not use it much at night. I lean forward slightly. But he shakes his head hard, eyes still locked on the mirror. "Please," he says, "don't talk. Don't turn around. Whatever you hear, just sit still." The traffic light turns green. He does not move. Rain taps harder against the roof. The sound feels closer now, like it is inside the car with us. "Uncle," I say softly. Before I can stop myself, the car jolts forward. The driver exhales sharply, like someone stepping off a ledge. "No more," he mutters. "Already. Too late." He turns onto a road I do not recognize. At first it looks normal. Narrow, yes, but paved. Street lights line the sides, though they are spaced farther apart. The light they cast is weak and yellow, barely touching the edges of the road. Trees begin to crowd in. Tall, dark shapes pressed close together. Their leaves block out the sky. My phone screen lights up on its own. No signal. No time. Just a black screen reflecting my face, pale and unsure. The air inside the taxi feels heavier, thick, like breathing through cloth. The driver lowers his speed. 30, 20, 15. His lips move. I cannot hear the words at first. Then I catch pieces. After midnight. Don't answer. Just drive. Just drive. My chest tightens. I sit back and press my hands against my thighs. The seat feels colder than before. Something shifts behind me. Not a sound, not a movement I can point to, just a sense of weight. Like someone has leaned forward slightly, close enough that their breath should touch my neck, but it does not. The driver's eyes shine with moisture. He blinks hard but does not look away from the mirror. "I said I was sorry," he whispers. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." The road curves gently to the left. The streetlights thin out, then stop completely. The taxi headlights cut through the dark, showing wet asphalt and tree roots breaking through the edges like fingers. The meter clicks again, .0, still 0, .my. Ears ring with silence. I want to turn around. Every part of me wants to look, to confirm what my body already knows, that there is someone else in the car. I stare instead at the back of the driver's seat. There is a tear in the fabric near the headrest, stuffed with old foam. The driver inhales slowly, then faster. His hands begin to shake. All drivers know, he says. Not written anywhere, not taught. You learn when it's too late. The pressure behind me grows. The seat dips slightly, like extra weight settling in. The air turns cold. A sound brushes past my ear. Almost a voice. Almost my name. The driver lets out a small, broken sound. Don't, he says. Please don't speak to him. The road straightens. For a moment, the trees pull back. The headlights stretch farther. I glimpse something ahead, another streetlight, brighter than there. Others, white instead of yellow. The weight behind me lifts. The cold eases. The driver presses the accelerator. The taxi surges forward, tires hissing over wet ground. The streetlight rushes past, and suddenly we are back among buildings. Normal ones. Shops. Bus stops. A row of parked cars. The radio crackles to life, spitting out a late-night talk show. The meter clicks. Numbers begin to rise. I check the time. 12:26. A dot my breath catches. It feels like only a few minutes have passed. The driver pulls over without a word. We are not at my address. Just a quiet curb under a working street lamp. He turns and finally looks at me directly. His eyes are tired, empty, relieved. Go, he says. I reach for my wallet. How much? He shakes his head. Hard. No, I hesitate. What was that road? His jaw tightens. One that should not be used after midnight. I open the door. Warm, wet air rushes in. The city noise. Returns distant engines. A train horn far away. Before I step out, I look at the back seat. It is empty. The driver's gaze flicks to the mirror. His face tightens again. Don't, he says quietly. I step out and close the door. The taxi pulls away at once, disappearing down the street faster than it should. I stand alone under the street lamp, my heart still racing. The rain has slowed to a fine mist. The light hums above me. For a moment, I think I hear footsteps behind me. I do not turn around. The day looks normal, which makes the night feel wrong. I spend the morning walking streets I once knew by heart. Coffee shops open. Buses sigh at stops. People move with purpose. Eyes on phones. Lives intact. Nothing hints at hidden roads or vanished time. But the taxi ride stays with me. By evening, curiosity settles into my chest like a stone. I start small, a short ride from the mall to my hotel. The driver is young, music playing low. When I mention midnight fares, his fingers tighten on the wheel. Anything strange happen late? I ask, keeping my voice light. He shrugs too fast. Just tired. La. What about roads that don't show on maps? Silence. He changes lanes without signaling, turns the music up. When we stop, he does not meet my eyes. I step out knowing I pushed too far. The next night, I try again. Different driver, middle-aged. A small fan clipped to his dashboard hums softly. I mention midnight. The fan rattles as his foot eases off the gas. Some things, he says, better. Not talk. That bad? He swallows. People get ideas. I wait. He shakes his head and drops me off early. As I close the door, I hear him lock the car before driving away. By the third night, I recognize the signs. The pause, the quick glance at the mirror, the way shoulders tense like they expect a tap from behind. Most drivers shut down. A few laugh too loudly and say it's nonsense. One man grows pale and pulls over, saying his shift just ended. Then, near dawn, I meet an older driver with tired eyes and a thermos between his knees. He listens without interrupting. Rain beads on the windshield. The wipers drag back and forth like slow breaths. You rode after midnight, he says. Yes. Meter reset. Yes. He nods once. Lucky, I ask him why. He looks straight ahead. Because you are here asking. He parks near a choir. Capiscium and turns off the engine. The sudden silence feels heavy. There is a road, he says. Old service road. Near Bukit Brown. I know the place. The cemetery sits on a hill, overgrown and quiet, like the city forgot it on purpose. It's not always there, he continues. Only after midnight. Only sometimes. What happens there? He hesitates, then speaks fast, like ripping. Off a bandage. Passengers appear. Back seat. No sound. They ask one thing only. Where to? Home. My skin prickles. Where is home? I ask. He gives a sad smile. That's the problem. I picture the weight behind me. The cold air. The voice almost saying my name. They never speak again. I ask. He shakes his head. Never. You drive. You don't ask. You don't look. And when you reach the end, the door opens. Or it doesn't. The fare ends. The seat is empty. Every time. He grips the steering wheel. If you are lucky. I leave him sitting there, staring at nothing the next day. I take the bus to Bukit Brown. The cemetery is quiet in the afternoon heat. Cicadas buzz. Leaves rustle. Sunlight filters through tall trees. Everything feels solid and real. I walk along. The fence line. Locked gates. Warning signs. No road. I circle the area. Check side paths. Old stone steps. Nothing leads inward. Still, the air feels thick, like it did in the taxi, like someone is waiting for night. I stand near the trees longer than I should. Sweat runs down my back. My phone shows full signal. Normal time. I leave before dusk. At night, I sit in my hotel room with a laptop and dim lights. The rain returns, soft and steady. I search old news sites and scanned papers. Taxi driver quits suddenly. Taxi found abandoned. Driver missing. The dates stretch back years, decades. One article catches my eye. Black and white photo. A man stands beside a taxi, smiling. The caption says he left the job the same night he picked up a silent fare near Bouquet Brown. He refused to explain why. Another article mentions a driver who stopped mid-route, left the car running and walked into traffic. Survived, never drove again. The pattern repeats. Midnight, a road. A choice. I print what I can and spread the pages on the bed. The rain taps against the window, steady as a clock. I think of the rule the first driver whispered. Don't speak. Don't look back. Not superstition. Instruction. The next evening. I return to Bouquet Brown on foot. It is just past 11. The sky is low and dark. Streetlights hum. I stand near the fence, watching shadows shift. Cars pass. None turn in dot. At 11:59, the air changes. Not colder, not darker, just closer. The forest seems to lean forward. Sounds dull, like cotton stuffed in my ears. Midnight passes. Nothing appears. I wait. A car slows nearby. Headlights sweep across the trees. For a moment, I swear I see pavement where there was none. Then the car moves on. The forest settles back. I exhale. My phone buzzes. Las 12:07 a.m. I step away from the fence. As I turn, I feel it again. That sense of being watched. Not from the trees. From behind me, I freeze. My heart hammers. Every nerve screams to turn around. I remember the stories. Every driver faced the same choice. Look back, or keep driving. I take a step forward instead. Then another. The feeling follows for a few seconds, then fades. I do not look back. Back in my room, I sit on the edge of the bed, hands shaking. The superstition is not about ghosts. Not really. It is about people who learned too late that some roads ask a question, and once you answer, there is no going back. Rain falls the way it does only after midnight. Not loud, not gentle, just steady, like fingers tapping on a roof, counting time. The taxi smells of damp cloth and old coffee. I sit in the back, hands folded tight in my lap. The driver keeps clearing. His throat. He is younger than the others I spoke to, maybe early 40s. His eyes look tired in a different way, like someone running out of choices. You sure? He asks again. Yes. He nods, but his foot does not press the gas yet. The clock on the dashboard reads 11:57 p.m. The street outside is quiet, washed clean by rain. Streetlights glow and blur. The city feels thin, like a set that could be folded away. I just need the money, he says, almost to himself. I do not answer. The clock flips to 11:59. He exhales slowly, then drives. For a few minutes, everything feels normal. We pass familiar buildings, closed shops. A late bus sliding past like a ghost. The radio hums low, then clicks off when the driver bumps it with his knuckle. Midnight arrives without a sound. The meter clicks. The numbers vanish. The driver flinches, but keeps going. The turn comes fast. Too fast. One moment the road is wide, unknown. The next, it narrows, pulling us inward like a throat closing. Trees crowd close on both sides. Their branches hang low. dripping water onto the windshield. The headlights barely push back the dark. "This is it," the driver whispers. The road is slick and uneven. Old pavement, cracked and patched. No lines, no signs. Just a single path cutting through the trees. He slows the car. Rain drums harder on the roof. Each drop sounds heavy, closer than before. The driver begins to speak under his breath. Not to me, not to the car, to the road itself. "Don't answer. Don't look. Don't stop. Just drive. Just drive." His hands grip the wheels so hard they shake. I keep my eyes forward. My body feels tight, like it is waiting for something to land. The air changes. It grows cold in a slow, quiet way. Not a rush, not a chill. More like the warmth is being pulled out, inch by inch. The windows fog from the inside. Halfway down the road, the headlights flicker. The driver sucks in a sharp breath. A voice speaks. It comes from behind us. Soft, close. Too close. "Ah," Seng, the voice says. The driver gasps. It says his name like it knows him. Like it has said it many times before. "I told you I'd be waiting." The seat behind me dips. Not much. Just enough. A weight settles there. Real and heavy. The leather creaks. The smell in the car changes. Wet earth. Old rain. I stare at the dashboard. My reflection looks pale and flat in the glass. Ah Seng's breathing turns rough. He fights for each breath like he is running. "I kept my promise," the voice says. Calm, almost kind. "You said you'd come back." "I didn't know," Ah Seng whispers. Tears slide down his face, catching in his stubble. "I didn't know that night." The car sways slightly, as if someone shifts in the back seat. "You knew enough," the voice replies. "You heard me." My heart pounds. The instinct to turn around burns hot and sharp. Every part of me wants to see, to confirm, to face it. I dig my fingers into my knees. The rules echo in my head. Don't look. Don't answer. The voice breathes out slowly. "You drove so fast," it says. "I kept calling. You didn't stop." Ah Seng's shoulders shake. He nods again and again, even though the mirror is dark and useless. "I was scared," he says. "I thought if I stopped, something bad would happen." The voice is quiet for a long moment. Then, softer, something did. The weight behind me leans forward. The seat presses into my back. Cold seeps through my clothes, straight into my skin. I bite down hard to keep from gasping. "You came back," the voice says. "That's good." The road stretches on, longer. Their branches scrape the sides of the car like nails. "Just a look," it says. "You owe me that." The mirror, Darkens. Not a reflection, a depth. Like looking into still water at night. Ah Seng sobs. "I'm sorry," he says. "I'm so sorry." The car shudders. The headlights dim, then flare. The voice sighs, angry. Not fully, but enough. It does not want to hurt us. To step out of the dark, even for a second. The urge to turn around grows stronger. To give it that one thing. The car lurches. Ah Seng jerks the wheel, eyes squeezed shut. "No," he cries. A faint glow appears, pale and distant. The trees pull back. The voice speaks one last time. Says, then the seat rises. The pressure is gone. Warm air rushes back into the car. A bus stop flashes past. The meter clicks. Numbers return. Sing slams on the brakes. He bends forward over the wheel. The horn. I can't, he says. I can't do this again. I open the door before he finishes. I glance at the back seat. It is empty. Seng does not look up. As the taxi pulls away, the streetlight above me flickers. For a moment, I feel that weight again. The meter freezes without a sound, no click, no warning. The numbers stop mid-rise, pale and faint, like they are holding their breath. The engine coughs once, then the car goes dead. The headlights blink out. The radio dies. The world collapses into black dot. Rain still falls. I hear it on the roof, slow and steady, but it sounds far away now, like it belongs to another place. Seng's hands lock around the steering wheel. Not here, he whispers. Please, not here. The darkness feels thick, heavy. It presses against the windows and seeps inside the car. I cannot see my own hands. I can barely feel them. The air turns cold again, colder than before. A breath moves behind us. Then the voice speaks, clearer now, closer, not a whisper anymore. This is where it happened. My stomach tightens. The voice no longer sounds distant or strange. It sounds like a person sitting close, leaning forward, telling a story it has told many times. Right here, it says, the road was wet, just like tonight. Seng squeezes his eyes shut. I was waving, the voice continues. I told you to slow down. The seat behind me sinks. The weight settles in fully this time. Heavy, solid. The leather creaks under it. I was late, the voice says. I said I would be home before midnight. The cold spreads into my back, into my shoulders. My breath fogs in the dark. I heard the tires, the voice says. I remember the sound. Seng's breathing breaks into short, uneven gasps. I didn't see him, he says, voice shaking. I swear I didn't. You did, the voice replies. Not angry, just firm. You looked straight at me. Silence stretches. Rain taps on the roof, slow and patient. You slowed down, the voice says. Just a little. Seng nods, tears slipping from the corners of his eyes. I thought, he says, if I stop, I'll be late. I thought. Someone else will help. The seat shifts. You felt the bump, the voice says. Seng lets out a broken sound. Yes. You checked the mirror. Yes. You drove on. Yes. The word hangs between us, heavy as stone. I waited, the voice says softly. I called out. The darkness presses closer. I feel like the car is shrinking, folding in on itself. I heard something, Seng says, but I told myself it was nothing. The voice sighs, a long, tired sound. They always do. The words settle into me with a quiet weight. Not just him, not just this night, all of them. The stories, the drivers who quit, the ones who vanished, the ones who locked their doors and drove faster. It is not fear that keeps them silent. It is memory. The voice shifts closer. I feel it near my ear, though nothing touches me. I lay there, it says. The rain washed the blood away. Cars passed, none stopped. The image forms in my mind without asking. Wet road, headlights sliding past, a body growing still. I watched you disappear. The voice says, ah. Sang's shoulders shake. I was young, he says. I needed the money. I had a fair waiting. The voice does not respond right away. When it does, the words are gentle. I know. That is what breaks him. Ah, Sang bends forward, forehead resting on the wheel. His hands tremble. I'm sorry, he whispers into the dark. I should have stopped. I should have helped. The cold eases just a little. The weight in the back seat shifts, as if listening. I didn't come for revenge, the voice says. That would be easy. The car creaks softly. I come because you forgot, it says. Because you chose not to see. Something clicks into place inside me. The superstition, the rules. Don't look. Don't speak. Don't turn around. It was never about staying safe. It was about not remembering. Drivers like Ah Sung learned to keep moving, to keep their eyes forward, to survive by pretending the past was empty road behind them. The voice waits. The silence feels like a question. Ah Sang straightens slowly. His face is wet, his eyes red and hollow. He lifts his head just enough to face the rearview mirror. I want to stop him. My body tenses. My mouth opens. But I understand now. This is his choice. I see you, he says. The mirror, D-A-R-K-E-N-S. Not black. Not empty. Something moves within it. A shape. A suggestion of a face, blurred like a reflection in rain. The car jerks violently. Metal. Groans. The doors rattle. I grab the seat to keep from falling forward. The voice releases a breath. Warm air rushes back into the car. The cold drains away like water pulled from a sink. The weight lifts. The seat reases. The darkness peels back in layers. The dashboard lights flicker on. The radio crackles, spitting static. The headlights flare to life, flooding the road ahead with harsh white light. The engine roars. Ah Sang gasps, sucking in air like he has been underwater. The road is gone, no trees. No narrow path. No broken pavement. We sit at an empty junction, the kind found anywhere in the city. Clean lines, clear signs, a working streetlight buzzing overhead. The meter clicks, it resets. Ah Sang stares ahead, frozen. Outside, the sky has begun to lighten. A thin grey line stretches along the horizon. Dawn. I look at the back seat. Empty, no weight. No cold dot. Just worn leather and a faint damp smell. Ah. Sang reaches up and tilts the mirror down. His hand shakes, but he does it anyway. I won't forget, he says quietly. Not to me, not to the car. The light grows stronger. Colors return to the world. The rain slows, thinning to a soft mist. Time moves again. We pull over without speaking. when I step out. The air feels different, lighter, like something has been set down. Ah, Sang does not look at me. I won't drive nights anymore, he says. I nod. As he pulls away, the streetlight above flickers once, then steadies. I stand there watching the sky brighten, knowing the road did not disappear. It was only waiting, and now it knows it has been seen. Morning arrives without ceremony. The rain is gone. The streets drive fast under a pale sun. Traffic returns in waves, buses groaning, scooters weaving, horns tapping, short notes of impatience. Singapore slips back into its daytime shape, clean and busy, as if the night never happened. I walk among it, carrying a quiet weight at a coffee shop. A television murmurs above the counter. The news plays low, almost polite. A taxi was found abandoned near the Bukit Brown area early this morning. The anchor says, the driver was discovered nearby, alive but unresponsive. The image flashes briefly on screen. A yellow car pulled to the side of a road. Doors open. No crowd. No urgency. They say his eyes were open. The barista tells someone beside me, but he wasn't seeing anything. I take my coffee and leave before the story continues. The city feels sharper in daylight. Glass buildings throw back my reflection as I pass. In shop windows, in polished doors, in the dark screens of parked cars, each reflection lingers half. A second longer than it should. I catch myself checking behind me, not because I expect to see someone, because I expect not to. Drivers shout greetings to one another. Delivery trucks unload boxes. Children in uniforms wait at crossings, backpacks bouncing. Life keeps moving, but certain roads remain quiet. I walk near the edge of Bukit Brown, where the fence casts thin shadows on the pavement. The gates are locked, as always. Nothing marks. What happened here? No flowers, no sign, only the absence. I understand now what the superstition really is, not a warning about spirits, a habit of looking away. Taxi drivers still talk about it, quietly, in break rooms, over cigarettes, in low voices that stop when someone new walks in. They say, don't take that road after midnight. They say, if the meter resets, keep driving. They say, whatever you hear, don't turn around. They do not say why. Guilt is not loud. It does not chase or scream. It waits. It rides along. It asks to be seen. I spend the afternoon walking, letting the city move around me, letting the noise soften the edges of memory. By evening, the sky turns. The color of metal. Lights blink on one by one. The heat fades. I know what comes next. I could stay in. I could leave the city and carry the story with me, folded and quiet. Instead, I stand at the curb and raise my hand. A taxi slows. The driver is middle-aged, clean shirt, calm face. He nods as I get in. Where to? He asks. I give him an address. Not far away. The door closes with a solid sound. The inside of the car smells faintly of citrus and old seats. The radio plays a soft song I do not recognize. We pull into traffic. The meter starts. Ticking. Each number feels heavier than the last. I watch the city slide by. Neon signs blink. People cross streets with phones glowing in their hands. The river reflects light in broken lines. The clock on the dashboard reads 11:54 p.m. The driver reaches up and adjusts the rearview mirror. Not up, down, dot. Just enough so our eyes do not meet. I feel it then. Not fear. Recognition, he knows. Not this night. Not this road. But the rule. He knows not to look too long. The clock changes to 11:58. The song on the radio ends. The next one does not start right away. Silence fills the car. I sit still, hands folded. Midnight arrives. The meter clicks. It is not reset. Numbers continue to rise. The driver exhales quietly, like someone stepping off a tightrope. We pass the turn without slowing. The city stays wide and bright. The road remains known. I feel a strange mix of relief and disappointment. The superstition did not choose us tonight, but it does not feel gone. It never does. The driver glances at the mirror again, then nudges it lower. I see his eyes flick down, then forward. Long night. I ask. He hesitates. They can be. I nod. The car stops at my destination. The meter shows a normal fare. I pay. He thanks me. As I step out, he speaks again. After midnight, he says, voice careful, some roads are better left alone. I meet his eyes for the first time. I know, I say. Something passes between us. Not understanding. Acceptance. He drives away. I stand on the sidewalk, watching the taillights fade. Around me, the city breathes. Alive, unaware. Somewhere, another driver will slow at a familiar turn. Another mirror will tilt. Another rule will be remembered. Not because of ghosts, because of people. Because some things, once seen, do not let you look away again. The night settles. The city holds its breath. And the fare, unseen but unpaid, remains.